Okay, and we are live. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Manchester United have beaten Wigan Athletic 2-0. Now, I don't think anybody thought that was a particularly good showing from United. Look, I know the stats are going to say a lot of possession, a lot of chances for the team, and yes, we did do that. We made a lot of opportunities, and we should have scored a lot more goals than what we did do. But certainly for me, guys, massively disappointing tonight. I said before the show and before the watch along, really, we should have went out there and put not only a good result in, but a good performance and plenty of goals. We're playing a team 19th place in League One. You know, they're in a relegation scrap in League One. They have a transfer embargo. There is absolutely no reason why we should not have been beating them by more than what we did do. And look, it comes down to missed chances. I think we made plenty of chances on the night, but I don't think it was good enough across the board. I think Wigan it took a long time to kill that match off. It really, really did. Look, guys, gonna ask you guys for man of the match for once on one of these videos, because normally when we do these, we tend to put in a bad performance and lost the match, and we find ourselves on here having a group therapy session after the match, but thankfully not today. Thankfully today there is a much better result, at least, and we are into the fourth round of the FA Cup. Of course, we're going up against one of Newport or Eastleigh in the next match, and that's going to be an away match, so it'll be another interesting one away from home for Manchester United. It's been a long time since we've been away from home in consecutive cup matches, and look, I'm just hoping to see a better performance in the next FA Cup match. Look, at the weekend we played Tottenham Hotspur. I think if we play like we did today, we probably lose that match against Spurs. I think Spurs will probably beat us at the weekend if we don't shape up and put in a better shift, all things considered. But look, was today a perfect match? Absolutely not. Is it just important to go through in the cup? I think that's the most important thing. Look, guys, I'm asking for man of the match. The options in tonight's match are Mainoo, Garnacho, Dallo, or Bruno. I can see most people going for Mainoo. I'm going to go early with mine, and I'm going to say copy Mainoo as well. I thought Mainoo was really good in this match. Really composed on the ball in terms of what he did. Really good interceptions. And I think if we look at the stats, you know, the guy really did have a top quality match. And I enjoyed his performance, and I don't think it came as a surprise. And I think the more I watch Mainoo, the more I notice that even his own teammates seem to trust him a lot more than other players out there. And that they always seem to pick the pass to Kobe Mainoo if it's available. And this is an 18-year-old kid playing in the number 6 position, probably not even his best position, all things considered. But I think he had a good match tonight. I think the best, probably the best compliment I can play to Mainoo is that I don't think it was a surprise either. I don't think any of his performances have been a surprise. I think that's kind of like the level we expect from the guy now. Stephanie's down there saying Mainoo man of the match. Yeah, I would agree with that, absolutely, Steph. I think probably the one shining light in tonight's match. I think it a really solid showing against a physical team. And look, he's played against harder teams as well. Let's not kid ourselves. He's played Anfield away, Bayern Munich, Galatasaray away, St James's Park away. Playing Wigan was probably one of the easier matches he has had for the club. But look, he bounced back today. If we do remember, he made a mistake in that match against Nottingham Forest that ultimately cost the match. So it's good to see him bounce back. You know, that misplaced pass in that one was very unfortunate. I put Bruno in there as an option for man of the match because stats-wise he seemed to have been man of the match by what the actual match rating indexes are saying. But for me, it's got to be Kobe Mainoo. I think today's a story of missed opportunities, a story of missed chances, and we could have got a lot more goals today. And I think goals for Hoyland should have been scored. I think McTominay should have scored. I think Garnacho probably should have scored, and I think Rashford should have scored as well. There was a lot of options out there. A lot of times we could have got more goals. We could have got more than what we did. But I think the most important thing is we go through. I want to highlight Kobe Mainoo's performance in this match. Really, really good, composed performance. 90% pass accuracy, 61 passes played, key passes, 10 out of 13 of his ground duels. He lost possession only 10 times throughout the entire match, won one foul, gave a foul away, made blocks, made tackles, made interceptions, really good dribble success as well from deep. And I think it's an advert for the kid, and it's an advert as to why that guy should be playing a lot more than what he is, and why he should be playing further up as well. Look, guys, thanks very much for 11 likes so far. Let me know your thoughts on this one. Get them in down below. And I think with a pretty good match, all things considered, out of some players. I don't think it was good across the board. I think it was frustrations in today's match, and I think Stephanie herself on the watch along was kind of posting out a lot of them as well. You know, Ten Hag very late with those substitutions. Look, we were seeing Hannibal come on earlier for some some much needed energy in that second half? Could we see Pellistri come on? Maybe when Garnacho started to fade a little bit in the second half, could we have seen, I don't know, Cambuala come on? Could we have seen Hugel maybe? You know, these are all ifs, buts, and maybes that we could have had in this one. Stephanie is down there as well. Was Anthony injured? I would have wanted to see him on the left to see if it worked. I think Anthony is injured. Before the match, for anyone who did miss out, there was some injury news did come through. Anthony seems to have a hip abductor injury. That seems to be his problem. And then, of course, we have injuries to Christian Eriksen and to Matt Diallo, both of whom missed out with illness tonight, but Eriksen apparently also has picked up a minor knock as well, so that's a concern there for sure. And yeah, I mean, look, it wasn't flawless tonight. I wouldn't say it was our most entertaining match of the season, but I guess it's a match we won, and we had to win, and we had to go through, and that's all you can really ask for in the FA Cup. And in any cup competition, your most important thing is always going to be progression. It's not going to be a top quality performance. Am I trying to vindicate it? Am I trying to excuse the lack of goals tonight, or some of the questionable substitutions or lack of in this one? Absolutely not. I think we should have seen a lot more than what we did do out there today, and I think it's unfortunate, really. But yeah, look, certainly frustrations. It will be interesting to see what they're saying online. It will be interesting to see what quotes we're seeing from the likes of Erik ten Hag. I think Højlund had a really frustrating match today, and I don't know what really happened there. I think he should have scored at least one. I think the one where it bounced off him from Ricochet, he should have scored that. He probably should have took that headed opportunity, and that would have had a massive impact on his confidence if he came away tonight with 2 goals. I think McTominay certainly should have scored. He had a free header in the 6-yard box. He had one that was deflected wide. He had another good effort where he should have hit the target. Bruno, good efforts. Rashford, Garnacho. There was opportunities out there, as you would expect, against a team who are 19th in League One. You know, these are the matches we should be making a lot of opportunities, but it's also the matches you should be scoring a lot of goals. City, I think, put 5 past Huddersfield yesterday. We should have been seeing something similar tonight, and Huddersfield are probably a better team than Wigan as well. Stefanego's defence was solid. McTominay a hindrance rather than helped. Rashford was slow, unpredictable. Højlund was wasteful as well. Lack of substitutions is worrying. Yeah, look, it was a very young bench. I think you could have put some subs on for some energy. I don't think it would have hurt us at all, and it certainly would have made it something of a difference. Because I think even in that second half, there was times on the watch along, we were watching it, we were saying, I really don't see anything in this match that's entertaining. There's no excitement, there's no drive. It's just very slow, it's very flat, it's very static. I think you could have put some of those players on. You maybe would have got more out of them. I think the big story tonight, the big thing has to be Kobbie Mainoo. And Kobbie Mainoo, time and time again, every single time he's played this season, I don't think he's really put a foot wrong. I think maybe he's made one mistake. I think he's just a top quality player. At his age, I think he should be first name in the team sheet already, and I would put him in there as well. I think he's just a really, really good player, and you're going to see a lot more out of him in this Manchester United team in the years to come. And I think the best thing with Mainoo is he's only 18. He has so much development ahead of him, physically, mentally, and in terms of what he can do on the ball and what he knows what to do with the ball. And as well as that, he's already so good, and he's playing out of position. And he already looks like the best player in the pitch. And look, for anyone who is new to the channel, I am a massive fan of Kobbie Mainoo, and I will scream this guy's name from the rooftops all day, every day, if necessary, because I just think that we have maybe one of the top young midfield talents of the next generation at this club already, and I think we're very fortunate to have him. I think we've got to be ambitious if we want to keep a kid like that as well. Just in terms of that poll, most of you guys are agreeing as well. 77% are going for Mainoo, man of the match, 15% going for Garnacho, and 8% going for Diogo Dalot. Nobody has went for Bruno Fernandes, I have noticed. But look, I think across the board there was a couple of options you maybe could have said for man of the match. I think Garnacho had a good match. I think Dalot had a good match. I think Bruno had a pretty good match, all things considered. But I do believe that Mainoo was probably the best. But there was some disappointing performances out there nonetheless. There really was. You know, you're looking at Rashford saying, you know, he's going up against League One players who are struggling, and he's not looking good out there. You're watching Højlund saying, where's the goals going to come from with this guy? What's he going to do? Why is he not scoring goals? You know, that's a concern for me. He should have scored at least one today. McTominay out there again looked more of a hindrance, as Stephanie says. He looked like a player who was kind of getting in the way at times. I don't think there was a particularly involved match from Wan-Bissaka. I think that's maybe one of the weaknesses in his game that we're seeing once again is that sometimes he doesn't contribute a lot, especially offensively, when arguably he should. I think his first instinct is to cover and try to defend, but I don't think we get enough out of the guy attacking wise. I think Dallo was good today for his goal, but I don't think he was particularly good either. Um, Across the season, maybe one of his better performances tonight, but again, question marks going to be asked of him long term. I think if you look at the midfield, McTominay's just not fitting in there. I don't think Bruno was good tonight either. I don't think Bruno had a particularly good match. Like I said, I put him in the man of the match pool because I needed 4 options, and stats wise, according to the likes of SofaScore and looking at FB Ref, he was actually man of the match apparently. I'm pretty sure that's because he won the penalty and scored the penalty. I think that's how the algorithms work, which is why you kind of have to be wary of stats sometimes. Not the stats aren't a good thing, they absolutely are, but you have to watch out for the ratings app as well. Stephanie goes, would be lovely to introduce Dan Gore at some point and get Alvaro Fernandez back. Yeah, it would be. It really would be. I'm surprised, that we've let Reguilon go, but yet we're leaving Fernandez, and then we could have called him back, in my opinion. I think he's a good player, Fernandez. I do like him. I would question about what's going to happen with him long term at the club. Is he going to be a long term player at left back? Is that ever going to be the plan? I'm not too sure. I'm really not if that's what he's going to be. I think you're maybe looking at someone like Amas. If you're looking internally, I think you could look at perhaps looking in to other left back options. But look, it's a win tonight. I wouldn't say it's convincing. I wouldn't say it's the performance we wanted, but 2 goals and a clean sheet. I mean, it's got to mean something, even if it is against Wigan Athletic. I don't know. Look, they had opportunities. They had times they could have scored. They had good opportunities on the break. I'm not going to say that we played the perfect match tonight because we really didn't. Jasper said Anthony will fill in at left back. I don't know, man. I really just can't see Anthony at left back. I know you've said it before, but I just don't see it. I really don't. Let me see. Stefan says, do Bruno McTominay and Rashford train together? They look awkward. Honestly, I do think McTominay at times is in there to score a goal, but I think it comes at the expense of performances from other players, and that again is a big concern. Daz is down there as well on that performance. We wouldn't win a game in the Prem. Probably not. Look, I don't know what's going to happen at the weekend. Tottenham at Old Trafford's going to be an interesting match, and if we play like that, they'll probably beat us. They'll probably go out and win on Saturday or Sunday, whenever that match is. If we put in a performance of the same quality, they will. Like, there's no doubt in my mind about it. They'll just turn up and they'll beat us. So certainly, look, concerns out there. Should we have been better in a lot of areas? Yes. Should we have scored more goals? Of course we should have. And once again, we didn't. And that for me, is a massive concern. I think we said all season we don't create enough chances, but even when we do create chances, we tend not to score them as well. It's like a vicious cycle. It really is, of not scoring. When we make chances, not making enough chances to score. That's the big frustrations for me. That's the big concerns. Like, we should be a hell of a lot better off than what we are doing. Just words on there. I can't say if it could be an option. I mean, look, anything could be an option. I think. I question with the likes of what's happening with Luke Shaw as well. I'm not too sure where he's been in the last couple of matches. Obviously, he made his comeback and looks pretty good, and then he's gone again. So, obviously, the important players still missing. I think it's going to be an interesting time because we're meant to be getting a lot of these players back. The Casemiros, the Mounts, the Shaws, the Martinez of this world. Is that going to bring better level performances to this team? I'm not sure. Does it help us score goals? Who knows? Because even when those players were in the team at the beginning of the season, we can't really say that they were playing out of their skin or that they were having top performances week in, week out, because they really weren't. So I would feel that concern for sure. Big ups on those 12 likes as well, guys. Let's see if we can get up to 20 likes as well. And big ups to the 3 people who have subscribed tonight. I'm not too sure if people were subbing on the watch along or if it's coming from tonight's show as well on the reaction stuff. Stephanie goes, we haven't hammered anyone in a long time and we don't look like doing so. No, we really don't, Steph. It's like I said, I don't think we've scored consistent goals since Ollie was the manager in his penultimate season, really. I don't think we've scored a lot of goals from then. I would be curious. Let me just quickly shoot this up because I am kind of curious about this. 1 second. Man United. Maybe we'll say goals per season, maybe? Yeah, if we do goals per season, maybe we can get some kind of stats on this here. Um, because I do feel like we scored a lot more goals under Ollie than what we have done under Ten Hag and what we did do under Ranić, which would be a concern. Which would be a concern, obviously, because the different era of football, things were very different with the lockdown. Not actually having like crowds in the stadium, I'm sure made a difference. But big ups on those likes anyway, guys. Stephanie's down there. Chelsea 4 at home was last time. Yes, we scored 4 goals twice last season, and it was against Aston Villa in the League Cup, and then it was against Chelsea. We're not finding the back of the net on a consistent basis under Eric Ten Hag, and that's going to be a concern. That says either Rashford has lost his pace, or he's just not giving 100%. Looks like Ten Hag's just trying to keep him happy at this point. I don't know. Like it's hard. It's really hard to say, man. Like it is. It really is. Let me just see. In the Premier League this season, we've scored 22 goals. That is 1.10 goals per season. So we'll go back a season, and then we'll go back another season. We'll see what these stats are going to say here. Stephanie goes scored 9 versus Southampton, 6 versus Leeds under Ollie. We did. Last season, we scored 58 goals in the Premier League, 1.53 per match. So there is a decrease this season as expected. I think the season before under Ranić, it's probably going to be low again. I know it's going to be low. So I think this is to be expected. But I do think it's interesting to go back and compare. Look, I'm not going to say that it's the same level of football, of course. We scored 57 goals. 57 goals, 1.5 per game. In that there season. We actually also conceded 57 with a 0 goal difference in that one. Big ups for 30 likes. But this is where it gets interesting. This is the seasons I'm kind of thinking of. The last kind of seasons under Ollie. We scored 76 goals in that season. We scored 2 goals per game in the Premier League. So, we were double the amount of league goals per match every single under Ollie in that season. The season before, we scored 68, so 1.75 goals. So it is a trend that we're scoring less and less goals as time's going on. That has to be a concern for us as well. Even the season before, when Ollie took over as caretaker manager, we were scoring 1.7 goals per match. We never finished under 1.5. Even under Jose, it was 1.79. I'm trying to go back to the last time we were scoring less than 1.5 goals per match. I'm into Jose's second and first season here. We still haven't scored less than 1.5. Then we're into Louis van Gaal. Even under Louis van Gaal, we were averaging more goals scored per match in his last season, I think. The season before that, 1.63. So this might be the worst attacking United team in a long time. Even under David Moyes in that season, we were scoring more goals per match. Look, I know that we're only a bit through the season. It's not the full way. But we haven't... This is the worst performing attack that we've had at Manchester United since Louis van Gaal's last season. And even that Louis van Gaal team scored more goals on average per match than this side. Bourne says, which is the most boring side, Van Gaal's versus Ten Hag? I mean, maybe that answers your question. Maybe that does. If we're scoring the least amount of goals, less goals than the season Louis van Gaal got sacked in, does that mean that we're still, this is the worst and most boring United side? I mean, arguably so. Arguably so. I mean, we're scoring 1.1 goals per match. So by that logic, we would need to, if we carry that across the season, right? Let me just quickly get a calculator up here. If we carry that across the rest of the season, so I think we got 18 matches left. If we scored 18, if we've 18 by 1.1, it means you're going to score another 20 goals in the Premier League all season at that kind of rate. 20 goals in the last 18 matches of the season. I mean, that's just bottom of the league. That's literal like bottom tier levels in terms of your output. We're just not scoring goals. We're just not creating chances. So yes, look, chance creation is a big problem. I think tonight's one of the very few matches I can say that Højlund should have scored, that McTominay should have scored, that Rashford should have scored, that Garnacho should have scored. It's one of those very few matches this season where I think we've actually created enough opportunities on that pitch, and we didn't take them. And it's a concern that I've had, and I think we've voiced it quite a lot on the channel, is that even if we have the opportunities and we make the chances, are we going to score them? And the answer does look like it's going to be a resounding no. So that for me is a big concern. You know, we're talking about the business end of the season here. I mean, we're meant to be going for top four. Emperor Jerome was down there. I skipped the game, but to be honest, I seen we won 2-0. Yeah, look, it's not good. It was not a good match tonight, Jerome. It really wasn't. Now McCabe down there. Rashford and Hoyland brutal. Such a toothless attack. Wouldn't mind seeing Dan go more often this year. Kids in the business first. Johnny Evans, player of the season. I mean, I think probably Mainoo be my player of the season so far, mate. But yeah, I mean, Evans is another one. I think Evans was good tonight. But look, it's like we're going back. Stephanie's down there. Normally 76 points and 76 goals get you top four. You have to average 2 points / 2 goals a game. Yeah, you do. That's a pretty fair conversion rate, I think, across things. Big ups on 15 likes as well, guys. If you guys are new, please consider hitting that sub button, guys. And look, I was gonna make a video on tonight's match, maybe record something tomorrow. If you guys have any ideas what we can do, would you guys like me to have an in-depth look at the attacking performance of the team? If we're making the chances, would you guys like to see something more in depth like that there, or would you guys prefer to see like a general match reaction like what we're doing now but more condensed, maybe like, I don't know, 5 things we learned, or ups and downs, anything like that? Let me know. I mean, I can start doing this yourself because I am looking to bring more videos and stuff on the channel here. Let me see here. Yeah, I think Stephanie's saying give Joe Hugel a go. I mean, I don't see why not. We're not scoring goals at all, really, in this one. I'm just gonna add a couple of guys in here as mods, I think. Let me just quickly do the yeah, I'll just add a couple of people in here as mods just because I know YouTube wants to get some more in there. I think I've added Jerome and Hal McGibb as mods there as well. Just to pump that number up as well, because we were looking to get a couple of people on it. But yeah, look, I think this far in attack's not good. I think the lack of chances being made, it's not a good indication. I do think it's interesting. Most people are going to go for Mainoo man of the match. No one really going for Bruno. Some people going for Garnacho. I mean, Garnacho is popular. He always will be. Always will be a popular player, Garnacho. But I think it was a really good effort. And look, what I will say is to everybody watching this, I think Anthony has to be very worried, because Garnacho performed really well on the right wing against Aston Villa. It was really good, instrumental in that match. 2 goals in that one. Really top level performance from Garnacho. But tonight Garnacho cut inside from the right onto his left foot, and he got one hell of a shot off and hit the crossbar. Whilst that might not have been a goal, whilst that might not have been anything of significance in terms of the match, I think that shows that Garnacho has the ability on his left foot to do exactly what Anthony does, whilst also providing an option with his right foot. He can go to the byline, he can cross the ball, he can cut inside, he can get shots off, and he can do so much more than what Anthony does. Such a limited player as Anthony. So I think that's got to be a concern for him. What do we got? Emperor Jerome was happy with being a mod as well. Yeah, no worries, guys. It's good to have some more mods in here anyway. Bourne is down there. I think it's a myth. Ten Hag gives youth a chance. Just imagine picking poor Rashford and the Russian soldier McDonald over Pellistri. Look, I mean, I'm going to be unpopular and say that I really don't think Pellistri is anything special. Like, I know that people like him. I think the reason why he's liked by a lot of people, and it looks, no offense, you guys, and I'm not having a go, but I do think it's because he's not Anthony and he's an alternative to that. I think that's in the same way that Van de Beek was popular whenever he wasn't playing and people wanted him ahead of McTominay, and Fred. I think it's in terms of other players as well. I think this is a common trend we see at United sometimes. People looking to see Dalot playing if Wan-Bissaka's had a run in the team, or looking to see Malacia play if Luke Shaw's had 1 or 2 bad matches. I don't mind Pellistri. I think he's a fine squad player. But if there's talk of him going to loan with a potential 20 million buy option, I would absolutely take that, because I think across his entire United career, he's maybe generated, I think, 0.75 expected assists and expected goals. It's not really that great either. Emperor Jerome says, apologies, I'm not on 24/7. You need to restart it, so I'm going to be on the bite. No, man, no problem at all. Look, I'm just trying to add some more people in as mods anyway, and it's just because I have seen you on before as well. So look, I've got Stephanie, I've got Big T, I think I've added Niall McCabe as a mod as well. I added Daniel, I think, and I think Hot Fuzz might be done as a mod as well. So I mean, I got a good few people anyway on here. So it's just to boost the numbers up, because I know YouTube like it. They were a little bit angry with me for not having it Namakim said Pulisic given enough chances and done absolutely nothing. Barra Carabao a couple last year against Charlton. This is the problem. Move him on, and a good few others. Yeah, look, I wouldn't. I would agree with that. I think there's a much better player in Ahmad. I think Ahmad might be the one that you could say would be big on that right hand side. But I think we're really starved of options, and I don't think. Look, I don't think it's a bad thing, guys, because I think you got. If you've Ahmad Diallo coming through, I think you play him for now. I think you keep him. And I think in maybe next season, you'll probably see Shell Lacey coming through. And I think Lacey will be maybe you're talking about a player there with the potential to be as good as Kobe Mainoo, maybe even higher than Mainoo's actual potential in terms of what he does. Now, I mean, that sounds ridiculous because, I mean, I wax lyrical about Kobe Mainoo all the time, but Shell Lacey will be something different as well. Stephanie goes, in today's modern game, a front three should be interchangeable and able to play across the other positions. And Bourne State United have spent 80 million for a guy with a dead leg. I mean, yeah, it's hard to argue. It is hard to argue that. It's hard to not suspect that and not look at that as what it is. I mean, we've all seen it. I would be very interested to see what Anthony has actually done on his right foot, if he's ever had a shot, if he's ever had a cross. Pastor Milner is down there. I think we should send both of them because they're not serious. This is not Manchester United. I know the players are the problem. They definitely could be. Stephanie said, I want to see Anthony get tried on the left or through the middle, keep opponents guessing. Yeah, look, I wouldn't mind. I think you got to do something different. I don't think you're ever going to get what you want out of the guy on the right-hand side. And I think it's easy. It's kind of like when McTominay is playing well. It's kind of like when you have that option, Ten Hag, just... You nearly don't want him to have that option to put McTominay and just launch it long to him. You don't want him to have that option to go long. You want him to be kind of forced to stick with what he's got. So when Anthony plays on that right hand side, it's too much temptation for him just to cut inside on his left foot and try to get a shot off or try to do something with it. I think you got to take a view of it that what do you want? Do you want to take that option away from him? Maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe you need to have him crossing the ball on his left side and being less of a predictable player. Maybe that's a decent way to do it. I mean, look, I think Garnacho looks a lot better on the right. I really do. I think he can do what Anthony does on his left foot, and he also has a right foot he can use, and very well. And he can go... I think what I like about Garnacho is he can run to the byline, he can hit the byline, he can put crosses in. He doesn't do it enough for my liking, but he can do it. But I think with some tactical instructions to do that, I think you'll probably get a lot more out of Garnacho. I think that gets more out of Højlund in the middle, and that gets us more goals. I think Rashford on the left, I think you still got questions there, but I think we're just too one-dimensional, because if you take Rashford out on the left-hand side, then you're playing Garnacho there, and then you're getting back to that situation. We have Anthony on the right, you've Garnacho on the left, and they're playing one pass between the pair of them to your striker in a match, and that's not what you want. You want to take those options away from him. Is Garnacho having more joy on the right-hand side, getting better performances because he doesn't have the option to cut inside on his good foot all the time? I think he might be. So I think maybe that's something you could look at with Anthony. I think maybe you try to play Rashford through this bad form. I don't know. But I mean, I'm really getting sick of watching the guy at times as well. Like, I really, really am. Emperor Jerome says, I know I sound negative, but I'm a realist. I want the Glazers manager 96% of the players gone. They've disrespected the club for too long. If Jim doesn't do it, that's what we need from him. Yeah, look, it is. It is absolutely. I think we've got to do it as well. I think you're going to see a big change in personnel. By all accounts, it's going to be a really big summer. It's going to be a really big transfer window. Coming up, a lot of money is going to be spent. A lot of players going to go, you would imagine, as well. So I'm not too bothered about that. Stephanie goes, don't like comparing us to City, but very few players are comfortable on the ball. Yeah, look, I think it's an insult as well, Steph. Like, I really do. I think it's an absolute insult, but it's true. If you say that Kobe Mainoo looks like a Man City player, and Pep's probably watched him thinking he would love to get his hands on him, so we need to make sure he stays where he is. But he doesn't look like a player that's come through our academy system. He just doesn't have that look about him. But yeah, like, he really doesn't. So I'm not 100% sure on it. Like, I'm really not. I think there maybe needs to be a look at the actual academy system overall, and I think we'll get that with these recruitment and this change in recruitment. Once we have a clear style of play of what we want to build towards, you'll see players coming in through the academy who are perfectly suited for it. You'll see first teamers brought in. You'll see bench players, squad players come in. I think that's important. Like, you shouldn't be losing the entire ethos of your footballing philosophy and what you're doing in terms of on and off the pitch, what you're able to do as a team on the pitch whenever you take one or two players out. City have been without Kevin De Bruyne pretty much all season, and they've played this exact same style of football. We've took Lisandro Martinez out of our team, and we've tried to play Stoke City football from the Tony Pulis era. Like this, we can't be so reliant on one or two players, because you're always going to get injuries. You're always going to get players missing. You're always going to have players not available. And look, is it frustrating? Yeah, absolutely it is. Adebayo is saying Rashford needs to step up. I would agree with that. I think he's definitely got to step up, and he's got to be accounted for. This is a guy who scored 30 goals last season, and I said many times on my show on this channel over the summer, I said a lot of times, I'm sure a lot of you guys remember, I always said when we bring a striker in this transfer window, we have to make sure it's someone who's not going to come and take goals away from Rashford. He's not going to come take goals away from Sancho and Anthony and Bruno. Has to be someone who's going to add goals, not just concentrate the lack of goals we already have in one player. But Rashford this season just hasn't looked bothered. He hasn't looked like the player we've seen last year, and I don't know what it is. He just doesn't look motivated. And I don't know, it's one of those. We know that FFP sales and FFP rules mean that we have to sell academy players for a lot of money. That's how City fund their spending, by selling James Trafford, by selling Bazunu, Romeo Lavia, players like that. If a big offer comes in for PSG, do we take it? I think you might. Like, I genuinely think you might. And I like Rashford, and I've always liked Marcus Rashford, and I've stuck up for the guy a hell of a lot, both personally and on here, and especially last season. But I just think that the lack of running is concerning. The lack of decision making from a guy who is 25 years old. He is still making decisions like he's an 18-year-old player. It's very similar watching Rashford and Garnacho. Really similar. They both make mistakes in possession. They both make mistakes in terms of their decision making, and they run into blind alleys. They run into trouble sometimes. The difference is Garnacho's 18 or 19, Rashford's 25. That's the big difference here. That is the top and bottom of it. Big T says Rashford needs to jog on. Bourne said it's painful seeing Greenwood performances knowing he could finish the right wing problem. Yeah, but look, it's just never going to happen either. It's really not going to happen at all with Greenwood. Like, he's not coming back. I don't think we can bring him back. I don't think they will bring him back. So look, I would consider that a closed chapter. I think the good thing is there's really good right wing prospects out there. There's really good players who can come in and do a hell of a good job on that side. I think you look at Nico Williams. I think you look at Bakayoko. You look at Matthias Sula. You look at Elisa. You got options there. I think Elisa is maybe the one they're looking at, but again, we have to factor it up and weigh it up with his injury concerns. Stephanie goes, Rashford's running out of excuses. Should be embarrassed seeing that wage bill. Absolutely, Steph. £350,000 a week. We know that we're trying to cut down the big earners. We know we're maybe looking at moving Casemiro on or Varane on, Sancho on. We got rid of Ronaldo. We got rid of De Gea. These top earners who are earning a hell of a lot of money. We're trying to move them on. Is Rashford going to find himself immune to that? Does he deserve to be? Probably not at this point. Really, really not, in my opinion. Let me see. Chat Sports goes to Mbappe, who's in the summer. PSG will go for Rashford. He can go. I would like if a big offer came in 50, 60, 70 million, I would absolutely take that, because I think you can probably get a better player in for that. Let me see. Missy says if Rashford continues like this, his future will not be bright. Emperor Jerome says some of the staff members in the team are really bad. They make terrible decisions when advised to. I think it's somewhat comical. Yeah, look, it is. I mean, we made like 4 subs today, but 3 of them were in the 92nd minute as well. Stephanie says, 17 likes, can we get 3 more? Yeah, guys, if we can get some more likes, would be appreciated. Wouldn't mind as well if some guys would, if you are new, please consider hitting the sub button as well. What are we on? 2,107. Thanks very much for everyone who has subscribed as well. Much appreciated as always. But yeah, look, guys, I'm going to record a video for tomorrow. Well, I'll make a thumbnail now and I'll record tomorrow. So I'll probably head off maybe about 10 minutes or so. But if you guys have any video suggestions you want to see for tomorrow, let me know. Drop them in down below. I'll probably record a couple. I think maybe what we'll have a look at is tonight's match. So if you guys want to see what's happening with Mainoo, why he's so important to this team. If you guys want to see why Rashford isn't performing, why we're not scoring goals, absolutely, I will post those out as well. Any more thoughts, guys? Make sure to drop them in. Keep voting on that poll as well. Let me know your man of the match choice for today's match as well. Is it Mainoo? Is it Garnacho, Dallo, or is it Bruno Fernandes? Can see no one's went for Dallo. Sorry, 3% went for Dallo and 0% have gone for Bruno. Nearly everybody's going for Kobbie Mainoo in this one. I think collectively probably was the best player on the pitch tonight in both teams, and it's not the first time. It won't be the last time Kobbie's the best player for us this season. Chat Sports says cheers. Don't know what's in there. Was it Moosey with a comment in there as well? I don't know. No, I see. I've seen Moosey's comment as well. Let me just quickly get up some of these stats as well for you guys, and we'll have a look at what we are saying out there. We'll see what Eric Ten Hag has made of today's match. For anyone who has missed out, we will be playing Newport County or Eastleigh in the next round of the FA Cup. That will be a 4th round match, and that will be sometime in January. That will be an away match, so could be quite interesting. When do they play each other? I think they play pretty soon. It is a replay, I think, from a 1-1 draw. Yeah, they'll be playing on Tuesday for that there one. I mean, that's a good match for them. They'll be enjoying that. Absolutely, they will. What have we got? Stephanie sent 18 likes as well. Thanks very much for that. Jerome Mainoo is in the 4%. Honestly, he has world-class abilities in him if he's handled correctly and taken care of. Absolutely. I think play him in the right position. I think he's done a really good job in this number 6 role, but I think you get even more out of Kobbie Mainoo if you put him in a pivot, if you put someone beside him who can maybe cover for some of the areas that he's not lacking in, but his first thought is always go forward. I think if you put a Jill winner in beside him, he'll be doing really, really well. Bourne said we're tired of Rashford, please. I think Makeda could play better. No, look, I'll not slander Rashford too much. He has like 125 goals for us, you know. But I do think, you know, there's a question about his the desires and stuff there. Stephanie says, does Mount get into the midfield if everyone is fit? I don't know. I think it's an interesting one. Does Mount come in for McTominay? If so, you know, what happens there? I think we've seen Ten Hag play Eriksen, Mainoo, and Bruno. My thought is that whenever Mount comes back, he probably comes in for Eriksen. So it could be Eriksen, Bruno, and Mount. Sorry, Mainoo, Mount, and Bruno. Sorry, really a lot of names there. But that could be the midfield. That could be what he's looking to build towards. I don't know if that's going to work necessarily. I think the ideal midfield might be Bruno, Mainoo, and ideally a holder behind that, an absolute Jill-winning ball destroyer in there. That could be what we look for. Pastor Milner says, changing managers is so much, there's no spirit in this team. I don't think there is a lot of spirit in the team either. I think you might be right in that one as well. I'm just not seeing it at the minute from this team in a lot of regards, and it is frustrating, guys. I mean, it's so frustrating in there. Big T says Mount on the right instead of Anthony. That might be the call. I think Mount played a period of time on the right-hand side for Chelsea and did quite well, so we could see that potentially. Those could all be options. I'm not too sure. Look, guys, if you do want to see a video drop tomorrow, let me know. And if you have any suggestions, fire them in. If not, I think I'll go ahead and probably record we'll have a look at United's attack in some depth while we're not scoring goals. Maybe we'll do that. Or maybe we'll have a look out and see if any news comes in. Emperor Jerome is down there. Mount's got a decent box-to-box midfielder in him. I think he's just joined the wrong club. Hot Fuzz says, big up, sick and tired of Rashford. Get him out. Yeah, man, I mean, it's very true. Fuzzy, hold on 1 second there, my man. Let me just quickly do this as well. I'll just quickly do that. Just adding some people in as moderators as well, so I'll add yourself in, of course. Stephanie says we're on 19 likes. Yeah, can we get 20? I think we're close. Fuzz, I'll have to go back and watch your video as well after, man. It's good to see you guys all hopping on there as well. And give me a shout in Discord. I might, I think I'm going to be on United Agenda at some point this week, but I mean, maybe we can do something towards the end of the week as well. Maybe get a collab or something going on there. Could be fun. I think the next match is Tottenham. I don't think we played a Sunday, so we got 6 days off, so plenty of time to get some videos and contents out there. I'm looking forward to it as well. Tottenham doing business in the transfer window. Amari Forson saying it's a debut. Sorry, it's an honour to make his debut. I want to quickly go through the Ten Hag. Quotes as well, just before we finish up here as well. Let me see. Ten Hag on the injuries. Some players are hopeful that they can be back for the weekend. Christian Eriksen, potentially Luke Shaw, and Harry Maguire. Mason Mount will need a week more, so there's the update on Mason Mount. Another week or so until he's back. Ten Hag on potential loans or incomings this month says we will consider everything in the best interest of the player and for us and the team, and we will see how it progresses throughout January and the window as well. Ten Hag as well. In the first half, we had 5 or 6 really good chances. It was good football, but if you don't score, you have to stay focused. And we stayed focused. Maybe not the best goal-scoring performance tonight. I mean, I don't think so. Let me see anything else from Ten Hag on Jim Radcliffe. He says it's an inspiration. Everyone's very optimistic. There's a lot of work to do. It's a journey. We have some setbacks, but we will stay alive as well. Ten Hag has also said, I can't say why we're not scoring goals. We had some good opportunities and good chances. We didn't take them, but I think we made the chances was okay. The FA Cup is about winning. You want to finish the job, and that's exactly the words I used in the dressing room into the next round. Dallo voted man of the match as well, but I think it was I think it was Mainoo easily. Who have we got down below as well? I can see the comments are shooting in. Big T says, Stefan, get a stream of Hot Fuzz set up. Yes, I will. I will give you a shout after this, Fuzzy, and we'll sort something up as well. Jerome says, I deserve more subscribers. I mean, thanks, man. I do appreciate it. I mean, we're trying our best. Look, we had a really, really good summer. We went from like this point last year with like 100 subs to this point this year with 2,100. So it was a lot of growing. I think the problem is that a lot of people who did sub over the summer and all that momentum came from the transfer window. So it's about trying to build up like match coverage and like that sort of stuff. Obviously, like I can make more content on my end, so hopefully I can do that there. Starting tomorrow, I'll get some videos made. I'll brainstorm some ideas, and yeah, look, I'll get Fuzz on the channel as well. Hopefully soon. Maybe we'll do some jumping on each other's channels as well. Maybe figure out how to use StreamYard and stuff as well. Should be on the United agenda sometime this week as well, Big T. So make sure to watch out for that one. I think Rebel might get me back on Thursday. I think Darius was saying, or he might give me a shot either tomorrow or for Wednesday. So I'll see what happens. I'll see what happens in that there regard. Look, guys, most people have went for Kobbie Mainoo man of the match, 78% in that there one. And yeah, look, I think we're pretty much done at this point as well. Steph has said as well, we're the usual suspects, we're always here. Yeah, look, you guys are absolutely fantastic. Couldn't ask for a better community. I really couldn't. And yeah, look, I mean, anyone who I have talked to with the kind of YouTube stuff, they've all kind of told me the same stuff. If you have like a genuine core of people who are always turning up, then you'll always do well. And things will turn around as well. So like I've some big YouTubers have told me that, so I'll trust them. You guys are absolutely fantastic anyway. Chatsport says, will there be a watch along for Spurs? I think there will be, yeah. I think we'll be doing one on, I think it's a Sunday match, so I'll have to figure that one out. But yeah, I'm pretty confident I can get that done as well. Look, guys, I think we'll leave the stream for now. So that's pretty much 3 hours of content and coverage on today's match. I don't think we really want much more. I think maybe it's time for bed as well. Maybe look, if anyone is struggling to get themselves to sleep tonight, just put the second half highlights on. I'll probably do the job anyway. Jerome says, I didn't do it, but I can't believe it was as well. Look, guys, thanks so much as well for joining in. I think we're going to leave the stream here. I'll get a thumbnail or something knocked together. I'll record a video for tomorrow, and maybe we'll try to get some daily videos and shorts and stuff up as well, and try to get some more people on the channel that way as well. Look, guys, thanks so much for watching tonight. Thanks very much for sticking by. Not a good performance, not particularly exciting, but into the next round of the Cup. Round 4, it's Eastleigh or it's going to be Newport County. What can go wrong? We should be in the round 5, but who knows? It is Manchester United we're talking about. Look, guys, should be live again tomorrow as well, so make sure to check me out then. And I might be on United Agenda sometime this week as well, so I don't catch you guys tomorrow. Maybe I'll catch you guys there. If not, have a good week, have a good Tuesday, enjoy your Monday night, whatever you guys are doing. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch everyone in the next one.